Welcome back to West Texas, folks. If you watched the last video, you'll have seen we were running this setup. I put some time-lapse stuff in at the end. We went off finding grass to mow. We got quite a lot of grass. I cut, I think, about 340,000 litres worth, which we've got in the fermenting silo over here, going for silage. A lot of that came from, let me jump into the map and put grass on. Around field 12, so this area around here yielded a lot of grass. It's a really weird field boundary, and it skirts around the edge there, but we mowed all of that and we got quite a lot of grass off of it. Some bits around the cowshed as well, and we have grass growing again, so we're in a pretty good state there. Jobs I want to tackle today: we need to get lime on field 14 and we need to fertilize it. We'll do lime first, and then we're going to buy a manure spreader, or a slurry spreader, sorry, and we're going to spread digestate. What I'm debating at the moment, you can see where we've mowed grass around here, is whether I want to buy a new tractor to go with the manure spreader, slurry spreader. I'm pretty sure this guy would pull it, but I'm tempted to pick up the Car Farms AFS Connect Magnum. Got a good income at the moment, so yeah, I will ponder that while we work. The other job we're going to do today, as I mentioned in the last video, we're going to do today is we're going to buy a new field, and we're going to go mow that. And we're probably going to have to let that dry to hay as well, because we need even more hay. Jump into Titan. I don't know if I've used this since I did some digging. It seems like the lime textures not working are a feature of this version of West Texas that I'm using. There is an update out, and I'm not sure if that update fixes it, but I'm going to stick with this version at least until we've harvested all of our crops. I just need to clear off course plate, because I don't want to have to go through resetting everything, given we're in early summer. Probably once all the fields are harvested, I will look at moving to the new version. It has some cool additions to it, which I've kind of forgotten. It fixes a few bugs. I'm hoping the lime texture is one of those. The economy gets even harder as it adds in a whole load of tax on the land, so there's a daily charge, I think, with all of the land. Yeah, so we'll see. Depends if I can face doing another map move, having just moved Homeworld, which took me a whole weekend to recover. We were at a bad point in time to be doing that. I'm gonna guess that might be enough lime. I have no idea. But you'll see as we drive around all the random bits of grass that we mowed. I also fed the cows. I fed them a bunch of hay as we were doing that job. I am considering doing a bit of landscaping over here, filling in this hole, because I'm not entirely sure what it's there for. If you know, let me know. There's quite a big area there that we could either extend field 12 into, or we could plough up to plant some grass. And weirdly, we don't own the bits of land around the pools, ponds, whatever you want to call them, so we can't mow that. I also came over and cleared up the stray bits of hay that we had missed with the tedder. We got about half a loading wagon full of hay off of here, which was quite a nice little bonus. We're on automatic. Cool. Let's get this done. As you can see, yeah, the textures are still wrong, but I did some testing with just the map loaded, and the base game spreaders have this weird lime texture, so we're just going to go with it. It's not a big problem. Spreading lime is only one of the many jobs, and this is such an awesome map. So let's get GPS running on here, because that'll make our life easier. We're not going to use course play for this. The plan for this one is not to just show the one job. Within today's video, I want to get the lime spread. I want to get digestate spread onto here as well, and we'll then head over and buy our new piece of land and get that mowed for some more hay. Why am I always making hay on here? Don't we need silage? We're going to have corn silage. No maize plus, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously on here. I'm not using maize plus on here. So we only get one type of silage. We don't get the different maize, grass, clover silage, etc. So we're going to use corn for our silage. So the grass is going for hay to be the other component in the TMR that we're going to need to make. I should have filled up with lime because we're getting through this pretty rapidly. So yeah, I'm expecting the best part of 2 million litres worth of silage off the cornfield. So we need third of that, no, half of that. We need about 1 million litres of hay a year to keep up with that, assuming that is enough to feed all the cows we want to get. I'm talking about buying a new tractor. We need to buy land, and I would like to buy another load of cows. That would get us 5 pens full. And the earlier we buy them, the sooner they will all be producing milk. Which is obviously the whole point of a dairy. We're the worst dairy in the world at the moment. You have no milk. You just have lots of cows and lots of feed bills. Well, no feed bills. We're managing to feed the cows ourselves now, which is good. Annoyingly, I reset the precision farming yield thing halfway through mowing around field 12. So I can't actually tell you how much I got off there, but I said in total, I think we got 340,000 litres of grass in the fermenter, and that goes straight to silage, which is awesome. So while we're waiting for the corn to grow, we'll probably feed a mixture of hay and silage. I'm not going to turn it into TMR. I want to keep all the hay, as much hay as possible, for making TMR later when the cows are producing milk. We may switch to feeding straight silage depending on how much has fermented. I think as we just run out of lime here, hopefully I can get to the end of this row. Can we do this little piece in the corner? I'm going to register that that needs lime. Yep. I'm going to go get this filled up and stick this onto a time lapse so we can fit a few jobs into the video without it being even longer than some of the really long videos. Put some music on and get some lime spread.
We got our windows down, driving down the 405, sing along to the radio. We're gonna make it someday, nothing's gonna get in our way. We will be the biggest band in town. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud.
So we're on the penultimate row of liming this field. This is our third load of lime, and I've probably overdone filling it up because I had thought about using this to spread some solid fertilizer on here once we've done the digestate spreading. I have decided that we're going to try running the Magnum on the digestate spreader. Basically because I've spotted a piece of land that I'm tempted to buy, and it's quite expensive. In fact, it's pretty much all of the money we've got in the bank. We may have to borrow a little bit once we've brought the digestate spreader, but we need one of those on the farm, so we need to get that. But while this folds up, the area that I'm looking at is just down here at the bottom of field 19. Problem is it's $650,000, but it looks like it's a similar size area to our field 14. You need to go and have a look down there to see what's there. The other area that I'm looking at is this one next to Field 17, which is only $250,000, but is a lot smaller. So we need to decide there. We'll have to take a little recce trick down to see what the land looks like. I'm probably only going to keep those until the end of the year, because I would really like to invest in one of the fields over the other side of the road, as I keep talking about. And then what we'll probably do is maybe plant field 4 with grass as well, and use field 3 is the field that I'm targeting in our 3-crop rotation. That will give us more land probably for arable and a lot more for grass. Let's get this guy parked up. It's not that dirty, and I will, if I need to wash it, I'll do it off camera. That was kind of a dodgy parking job. Hopefully you watched the last video and you saw that I'm using store deliveries now. So we're going to get the store to deliver the slurry tanker to us. And this is the one we're going to go for. Basically, I watch a lot of Canadian YouTube, it would seem, and they all have this brand of tanker. I'm going to go for the huge one. Don't know. We'll go for the new sticker. We'll go for the we'll go for the new stickers. So it's $80,000. Holds 35,000 litres of digestate, which probably isn't going to go very far. But let's get that brought. I'm not sure if this is going to handle it particularly well. We may need to get a front weight to put on. But we're going to give it a go. Big bit of kit. Definitely a big bit of kit. I suspect there's a good chance if you're watching this series that you maybe watched Farm Sim Guy and Argos's West Texas series. Yeah, I know they're using this as well. But it's one of the few slurry spreaders that I know is definitely from that side of the world, and I've wanted to use it for a while. We're going to go load up with digestate. Wow, I can barely zoom out enough to get this whole thing in. This is going to be fun to get around a field. I'm not sure how much digestate we actually have in. We have that many gallons. 66,000 gallons. I don't know how many gallons this is going to hold. So we have more slurry to move across, and we'll do that before the end of the day just to get the extra income, particularly as we're going to be spending a fair bit today. So we've got enough for 7 loads. That's a heavy pull. That is a heavy pull. What I haven't checked, and what I will check before we start, is just how much nitrogen we need for grass. I think it's a lot. We definitely need to pick up a front weight. Really bossing the tractor around. Probably what we need is the that bigger Magnum. Yeah, pushed us into the gate. Come on. Come on. So it's got steering axles as well, which is probably essential, but not helping us a huge amount. Come on. Yes. I think once we get it on the field, it'll be better. If we get it on the field, it'll be better. Trying to convince myself. I think we need to go and get the Steiger. I think that's our best hope without buying another tractor. That's not going to get around the field, is it? So yeah, we definitely need more horsepower and more weight. So we'll look at upgrading to that newer, bigger Magnum soon. For now, we'll abandon this in the shed. We'll do a semi-respectable park. And we'll jump in the 9190. No, no. We don't need to take the seeder with us. This guy should have the horsepower we need. What I'm going to very briefly do is pause the recording here so I can just go and check precision farming. I will be back in a second. So we've just checked our handy farmer's almanac, and we need at least 160 units of nitrogen for grass depending on the soil type. We'll have a quick look when we get over here at our precision farming nitrogen map and see how much we want to think about adding. Precision farming, nitrogen. We're at 60, so we need to add at least 100 kilograms per hectare. Not deactivate automatic. We definitely want to add more than 20. We'll go for 60 and we'll see how we run. I'm just trying to get set up with this ungainly rig to stick the cruise control GPS on. That looks like it'll work. Doesn't have to be perfect. And off we go. Looks like our width is slightly wrong. There we go. The bit at the edge that we missed we'll pick up when we come back and do a final fertilization. Not dropping too drastically. I guess we're going to need to add a fair bit of nitrogen. Let's bump it up to 60. And we'll see how we run at 60. I don't mind if we end up putting all of the digestate on here. We'll then run, might run a liquid fertilizer application over. We can run liquid or solid, we'll run on automatic so we get it up to perfect nitrogen levels. Be interesting to see how the yield changes with the lime sorted, because the pH was awful, and we had nitrogen sorted last time but we didn't have a good pH level. Obviously, the other thing that we've learnt for when we cut it next time is not to cut into the or cut over the headland. Come on, come on. Because we don't own some of that land that let us cut. So managed to get most of the hay off with the windrower. Yeah, again, in order to get many jobs into today's video, and should be running time a bit faster, but I want to get whichever new grass area we buy mowed so that it can be drying for hay. But yeah, in the interest of getting some jobs done, we'll go back on to a time lapse, or maybe a montage this time. I think we'll do a montage this time. Yeah, and we'll get this field covered in digestate. And once we've done the digestate, I think we'll go and buy our new grassland area and get that mowed so that digestate can soak in a little bit before we do the last fertilizer application. So I'll find some more music to stick on and hopefully try and get some nice shots of this thing running in the field.
Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage headline on a Saturday night. Oh, 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 Saturday night. Oh, oh, oh. I'm gonna quit my job. Never wanna have no bars. I just wanna play my rock and roll like they do on the radio.
So just the last 2 rows to go on here. We've used a lot less digestate than I thought. This is only our second tank, and I ended up knocking up the application rate to 80 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. So that's taking us halfway to where we need to be for the grass, probably. Realistically, we could have used a lot more. So I think we had 7 tankers full worth of digestate in the BGA. So next time I think we'll probably put even more on, and it bodes quite well for being able to get some pre-seeding fertilization on our fields using digestate for the rest of the fields. Those bigger fields I would probably use course plate and auto drive if I'm honest. It's quite a beast to maneuver, quite ungainly, particularly when it's full. Obviously very heavy when it's full. But it's really eating through this field pretty quickly. Something else weird that I've noticed is that my vehicle hours seem to have reset, because the game thinks I've only done half an hour in the case, and I've clearly done way more than that. So, or in this case. I was suspicious when I was driving the Magnum in the last video, because that said I'd only done 3 hours, I think. And again, pretty sure I've done a lot more than that. So at some point the hours in these have reset for some reason. Not sure what's caused that to happen, but not a problem. Not exactly game breaking. So we're going to get this. We might actually park this over at the BGA. Not like it's a problem for it to live outside. In fact, a bit of rain, if we do actually have rain forecast, a bit of rain would probably do it some good to clean the digestate off. So we'll go drop this off over at the BGA, and then our next job is to go and scout out the new bits of land that we're going to buy. I'm going to go over in the Magnum with the mowers on, because as soon as we buy whichever plot we're going to get, we need to get it mowed. Yeah, so we have the 2 possible options that we're going to go and look at. I'm going to get this parked up and get the Magnum set up with the mowers, and I will see you when we are on our way back down, not back down, on our way down to the potential new pieces of land that we're going to buy. Not sure how long we're going to keep them for. No more, I would have thought, than into late autumn, when we'll be looking at sorting our crops for next year. And we're probably going to be looking at buying one of the fields over there, hopefully. I have to admit, I'm tempted to go for the slightly smaller one so that we can buy some more cows. Or we'll just have to talk to the bank and see if they'll do us a short-term loan, and hope they don't ask about the rather substantial loan that we have that allowed us to set up the farm. Let's just top this off while we're here. So yes, I will get the Magnum set up, and I will see you when we are on our way down to our potential new purchases. We are down at the potential grass area. I've just thrown the drone up, maybe. Anyway, this is the larger of the 2 areas. It's pretty big, so it runs all the way to the edge of field 19 up here. I think it's probably about as big as our field 14. It's just grass. So obviously we could get a nice yield off of there. The other area that we are considering, which is significantly cheaper, is over here by field 17. This little area here. Not so big, obviously. It has this kind of run-down barn in here that obviously isn't going to be of any use to us. But it's a lot cheaper. It's $200 and something thousand. I'm really torn as to which way to go. I'm only going to keep it to probably till the end of autumn. Really don't know. Give me a minute, everyone. I need to get some air or something and think. It's like a minute later. Still really torn. The idea of this series is to go big, obviously, so I think we're just going to have to borrow a little bit of money as kind of a holding loan from the bank. If we borrow $50,000, you can probably even hear my voice that I'm not really sure about this. The price of the land is $61,000. That'll leave us with a little bit of capital in the bank. We've got some slurry to sell. I think we're just going to do it. Get this mown for, I think we really need to make hay, and we've got a dry day and a hot day tomorrow, so it should dry quite quickly. Let's just get it mown. We're going to put it on windrow mode. Still don't sound confident with this, because I'm not. I liked having that cash in the bank. We do own the land, I thought. Maybe this will help us decide. I did actually buy it, didn't I? Yeah, I'm over just too far across. That's okay. I hope we don't have the fun issue of not being able to actually bale it. I'm not sure why the front mower's not cutting. I can see us having issues with getting this strip baled. Oh well. Well, at least we got rid of the warning message. I'm guessing we're right on the boundary of the bit of land that we actually own, and hopefully things will get easier. Yeah, I don't like that drop in bank balance. It was nice having that comfort. We've got the solar panels, obviously, which are going to give us some. They give us regular income, and we desperately need the hay. So there we go. We're actually cutting the grass now. All of it. That's a nice fat swath, isn't it? Hopefully it dries well. Not sure where our piece of land ends. Looks like about there. Yep. So if we put the EPS on there, we'll run all the way down here to the edge, and going to give us a lot of hay. It's a lot of hay. It's going to be a pain to get it back up to the farm. This might be a case where we bale this up using some big bales, which means we're going to need to buy a bale trailer, which we can't really afford at the moment. Or we do a lot of runs with the loading wagon. Alright, we don't need to re-fertilize this grass, I guess. So if there's not a lot going on the farm, we're going right up to the edge. Well, the earth's flat. Yeah, it's definitely flat. In case you weren't sure. To run at 90 degrees. There we go. So yeah, let's I think we'll put a time-lapsey montagey thing on and get this mown, and hopefully by the time I've done that, my brain will have defuddled. Been a long day at work as well. Let's just relax, mow some grass, and I'll chat to you again in a little while.
Brand new drums, and I still have my old guitar. And John said this next song's gonna be real good, if you know what I mean. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night.
Well, this is a fairly big area of grass to mow. It's taken longer than I thought. I've put it back on 5 times just so we can get through today. I'm less concerned about finances now. Yes, I've just spent a huge amount of money on that, but making about $35,000 a day off of the solar panels. I think we've probably got about $100,000 worth of slurry to sell. So I think it will be better, and we can pay the loan off in the morning before I speed up time after the game. After I finish recording the video, I'll get all the slurry moved to the BGA, so we'll get that payment overnight, and we can pay the loan off in the morning. I'm hoping more fertilizing contracts will come up as well. There is one available at the moment, but it's not huge. But obviously we've got the Patriot sat doing nothing, so if we can get that busy, that's always good. The last job I'm going to do today is actually jump in the Patriot, and we're going to run some liquid fertilizer over our actual grass field. Plan for the grass in the future is, once we've got this one mowed, we're actually going to let them all grow and probably do a cut in autumn. We'll do it as one rather than me seeming to cut grass every time I play on here and every time I record, which is how it feels at the moment. Slightly badly timed, I guess, because 3 of the 4 games that I'm playing are all in the stage where I'm mowing grass. Hopefully you like watching me mow grass. Trying to do different things with each of them, so that I'm not doing exactly the same thing in every video, partly because I'd get bored playing it, let alone you guys watching it. I haven't decided yet how we're going to get all this back up to the farm. You'll see when I finish this row that it's a fair drive back up to the yard. We're pretty much at the bottom of the map, and the farm is pretty much 2/3 of the way up the map. So that's going to be, what, 1.5 mile drive, which is a lot in farm sim. Yeah, I'm curious to see how much we get off of here, because it's not defined as a field, and therefore we can't scan it. Precision farming won't tell us how much grass we've got off of here. So we're going to have to wait until the morning. Hay should be dry by the morning. It's really hot again. And we've actually collected up to see how much we've got. I think I need to look for a bale trailer, as I'm probably going to bale this. Running our small loading wagon, which is 30,000 litres at a time, is not going to be an efficient way of doing this. But that's everything mowed. I think I've left a bit of a border, but it's not clear to me where our boundary ends, and we had enough fun getting the edge of the grass off of our grass field. And some of the other farmers have got some nice crops coming up by the looks of it. Some of which we planted as contract jobs, like field 19 there, and we actually fertilized field 19. It's one of the jobs I did off camera. We have a contract come up to weed field 17 in front of us, but I'm probably not going to bother doing that. It doesn't pay very well, and it would mean emptying the sprayer out of fertilizer and putting herbicide in. So there's some cool stuff in this corner of the map. There is that plot of land just opposite the road with that nice barn in. It's quite a big plot of land. It doesn't have any fields in. Quite nice if you wanted to build your own farm. I think, you know, if you wanted to start small, you could plough some fields in there. would be kind of cool. And yeah, a lot of the big fields have barns and stuff attached with them. I guess in the real world, you maybe store some stuff at some of these big fields, houses and things as well. Really nice map. Yeah, so we're coming up on the potato and sugar beet processing site is just ahead, and then our farm is just round to the right. I assume it's a seasons thing, but I wish the fields would actually, more of the fields would get planted with crops. I suspect they're fields that had cultivating or ploughing contracts on them, which seem to be hanging about, which means they don't get planted and just makes the map look a bit, I don't know, I just don't like it. I prefer it when it's like this, when you've got nice big fields of canola growing. I think both of these fields on either side are fields that we planted as contracts. One of the, so I'm going to do at least 2 years on here. I don't think I ever played a map for less than a year, even with FS22 coming out. I'm hoping that we can get a bigger seeding setup or another seeding setup to run, and that means we'll be able to run more of the contracts. Form's looking good. Actually seems to have shot up a bit more. Really looking forward to the harvest on here. At least as much as the harvest on Holmold. Obviously I've got a lot more land on Holmold to get through. I've got a bit more of an income on there as well. Maybe not actually. With the slurry and things. We've spent quite a lot of cash today, which makes it look like we don't have a good income. We've been buying that big patch of grass and buying the slurry tanker. We've spent quite a lot. As soon as we have the cash, I want to get another pen full of cows. I think we are half a year away from milk now, which is good. We can get, hopefully we'll get some steer calves, I think, some steers to sell off. I'm just going to park the Magnum up here. It needs a good wash. We could probably do with getting a service point over this side of the farm as well. Not sure if this is going to be enough, so we're going to top the fertilizer just a little bit. Anyway, let's get it to about half full. That should be enough. We just got to finish off the fertilising on the grass field. Get a fairly hefty dose of digestate. Yep, just about fits. I have to watch out for the insane curbs. I tried to landscape some of this a little bit to smooth out the area where we sent the slurry tanker flying. That was it. I think it was on this curb here. Might have managed to do it a little bit, but it didn't go very well. Farm sim and the landscaping tool are obviously not people's friend quite often. You can see, yeah, some of this I got a fairly heavy dose of digestate on, so it's nice green colour. We'll run this on automatic, so it'll take it up to optimal fertilisation, then we can just leave this to grow, as I said, until autumn probably. We can hopefully, we've got to get that grass baled up, and I'm hoping we can progress to harvest. I keep thinking we're going to get to the point where we can speed up a little bit and things crop up, which mean that we can't. And yep, that's supplying. Work our way around the tree. Can put GPS back on, and we'll get this done. We're adding another 100 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare nice thing is that liquid fertilizer has a lot of nitrogen in it, so we don't use that much. You're using 85 litres per hectare. No idea how big this field is. And we're working gallons here, so that's divided by 5, 14 gallons-ish per hectare. I need to brush up on my SI units to American units conversions, maybe playing on here. One day I may even learn what a bushel is. Beyond what I vaguely remember from Larson Farms showing a bushel basket on one of their videos. It shouldn't take too long to get this job fertilised, and then we'll call it a day on here. On the last grass field I actually cut 2 headlands so that we're a bit more organised for getting things done. If you have suggestions for an auto-load bale trailer that's not the normal legal one that I use, post in the comments below, because it'd be nice to use something different. I am going to use an auto-load bale trailer for baling that over there. Probably just going to stick it in the commodities shed over at the yard. We won't, I don't think I'll bother with one of the auto-load bale sheds. I'm going to make insanely large bales, so there shouldn't be too many. And we'll go for 20,000 litre bales. Just, I know it's unrealistically large, but this is a large farm. And there's me. I think sometimes you have to do that kind of scaling to account for the fact that on a farm this size, you'd probably have several people working, and you'd have several people running wheel loaders and front loader tractors and telehandlers to load trailers up. We're going to have to manually unload it to get it where I want to store them, so. And we're really not using that much liquid fertilizer at all. Which is nice. So I'm hoping that next video we'll be sorting out that hay, probably. I may do that off camera. I don't know, I may get it baled off camera. We'll just do the transporting. Because I've done a lot of grass work in videos, and it would be nice to do something else. I really want to get to harvest. Partly so that we've got some straw. So yeah, again, let me know in the comments what you think. I may get the hay that we've just cut baled off camera. And just show the transporting and the unloading up at the farm. Partly in the interests of progressing the series again, we're still only on early summer, and I'd like to get into the meat of the series. And I don't think, year 1 of a season's play is always a bit funny. Gets better as you get to year 2 and you're more established. Hopefully by then the money situation will have improved again as well. Really want to get more tractors and more equipment and more land, more of everything. And the other good thing is if we get more equipment, we can run more contracts. It means we earn more money, which means we can buy more land. I have no idea how much straw we're going to get off of field 6, field 4 behind us, and whether that's going to be enough to last us the year. I probably won't put any in the feed at the moment. Handling the manure is going to be interesting. So the manure spawns inside each of the corrals, so we're going to have to probably manually clear that, or maybe try and set up courseplay to do it, probably manually as part of the clearing. I'm really tempted to replace the skid steer we've got, actually, because it makes clearing the feed alley quite slow. Probably a telehandler, or maybe a smaller bucket to put on the wheel loader. The big silage fork that we've got just won't fit down there. I may have a look at a bucket for that. The nice thing about using the telehandler is you can pivot it and you can dump the silage that comes out straight into the feed troughs. Because I don't think I can get a bucket big enough that will fit down the feed alley that will cope with cleaning up all of the cows. Biobelts one might fit actually. Probably a good option actually. That's what, 8,000 litres, so 400 bushels. We've got the potential to get so big on here. That would take a lot of time. So unless this map makes it to 22, we probably won't expand to the point where we've filled all of the corrals. Unless you guys are really enjoying this series and we just keep going on 19 for a bit. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this video is long enough. I've recorded it in a couple of segments, which means it's kind of hard to tell how long it's been going, but if you've enjoyed it, give me a like, drop me a comment, subscribe if you aren't, and yeah, if you have views on whether you want to see me bale that grass field, whether you've got suggestions for an auto load trailer that I can use to get the bales back up to the farm, drop me a comment and I will catch you in the next video here on West Texas.